Hi, I'm Lisa, and this is Lauren, and this is Zara, and we're going to demonstrate some manual restraints today. Lauren is showing the most basic form of restraint, which is a halter and lead rope to hold the horse and keep her next to her. And some other physical restraints I'm going to demonstrate are a twitch, a chain over the nose, a gum chain, a lip twine, and a shoulder roll and a leg lift. And some other restraints, there is voice, so you can talk to the horse soothingly like, hey, you're okay, or you can use a sharp voice if the horse is starting to have some behavioral problems, and that can sometimes get them in check. There are some chemical restraints that you can use, like acepromazine, which you can use to sedate the horse for clipping or something, just to help keep them a little warm. The next form of restraint I'm going to demonstrate is a chain over the nose. You never want to tie a horse up with this because if they decide to freak out or something, they can severely damage their nose. And to prevent damaging their nose while you're holding it, you want to wrap it over the nose band so it's not applying direct pressure to their nose. And you don't want to pull very hard, you just want to be there in case you need to use it. This is used for a horse that's not being cooperative for clipping or the farrier or something, or especially a horse that's bad when being led. So, hi sweetie. You're gonna go outside in, and you want to make sure it doesn't clank very loudly because that can spook some horses. And then you're gonna go inside out. So it's wrapped over the noseband, and you're gonna clip it to the top of her halter with the pointy part facing out so it's not poking her. And you are going to keep it down so you're not going to be pulling up on it, and you're just going to have it here in case you need to use it. The next form of restraint I'm going to demonstrate is a gum chain. You want to make sure the chain is flat against their gums so it's not having one link making severe pressure on their gums. Again, you never want to tie a horse up with this because if they do decide to spook or something, it can damage their gums really badly. And as you're doing this also, you want to have pressure so it doesn't slip into their mouth, but you don't want to have severe constant pressure that will cause any pain, and you want the pressure to be downward so they can't get away from it. So, hi sweetie. You are going to go outside in, and you're going to put it around the other side, and again clip it to the top of the halter with the pointy part facing out so it won't poke her. And then I'm just going to lift up her gum and pull it down, and you can see the chain on the top of her gums right there. Good girl. And this is something you're going to use if they're very bad for clipping or the farrier or the vet or something. It is something that you have to use properly in order to prevent damage, but it can be very good to help if they are behaving badly. The next form of restraint I'm going to demonstrate is a lip twine. Again, this goes across their gums. You want to use one that's kind of thick. You don't want to use a very thin piece of twine or string because that can be very severe. Shoelaces are good. This came from a hay bale, so this is also very good. If something is thin, you can braid a couple pieces of it together to make it a little bit thicker. So, hey sweetie. It's going to tie it to the side of her halter. And then I'm going to come around and link it through the other side of her halter. And I'm just going to lift up her lip and pull it down so she can't get away from it, and hold it there with constant but not severe pressure. Good girl. And again, you don't want them to get it into their mouth, especially since it's twine. Some horses might want to nibble on it or something. So this is also a good distraction from the vet or the farrier or from clipping. Just a quick distraction that isn't a chemical restraint. The next form of restraint I'm going to demonstrate is a twitch. This is something if the vet's working on the horse, the farrier, or they're clipping or something. It's a distraction, but you have to be careful with the twitch because it does wrap around their lip and it can cut off circulation if you're not careful. So the first couple minutes, first like 2 to 5 minutes, are the distraction phase. So it's basically a little painful to the horse, but it causes mainly a distraction. The phase you're going for is the analgesic stage, where the brain starts releasing endorphins, and they start to get a little drowsy and it starts feeling good, and that's the stage you want them to stay in. It lasts for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you don't want them to go to the blow stage, which is after that where their brain stops releasing endorphins and it starts getting really painful. This is where it can cause damage to their lip, and many horses can get very angry and just want to twitch off. Now I have Lauren holding her, and if someone were to be holding the lead rope and the twitch at the same time, and the horse does start freaking out, you always want to hold on to the twitch and never let go, because if the horse starts swinging their head while the twitch is still on, it can become lethal and possibly injure somebody. So you always want to hold on to the twitch. So to apply it, I'm going to keep it on the tip of my fingers and put it over her lip and twist it. And then you want to make sure it's not going to slip off. So I'm holding on to it really well. And to take it off, you just untwist it really quickly. Good girl. And some twitches are a little bit different. There are twitches that have a chain instead of a twine, which are very severe, or they can be if used incorrectly, and they can cause more pain to the horse. There are humane twitches, which just look like a little pair of pliers, and they can clip onto their halter. And there are also twine twitches like this with the clip that can clip onto their halter. The next thing I'm going to demonstrate is a shoulder roll. This is something that can be used as a quick distraction if the farrier's working on a horse or the vet needs to do a shot. It's just a quick distraction if you don't have anything else. It can be very hard on the human hand, and you want to make sure your nails are short for it so you're not stabbing the horse, because that can be painful. It's just a nice distraction. So basically you take the loose skin on their shoulder and you roll it over. And it's best to do it if you're against a wall or something so the horse doesn't try to move away from the pressure. So this is good in a pinch if you don't have anything else. But it is hard on the human hand, so it's hard to do for a while. The next thing I'm going to demonstrate is a leg lift. This is something if the horse has an injury on a leg, or you're trying to bandage it or something like that, and they keep lifting that leg, it can help prevent them from lifting that leg anymore. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to run my hand down her leg and pick it up and hold it there as if I was going to pick their hoof or something, but I'm going to hold it a little bit higher so they can't fight and get it down as easier. So it's very specific which leg you have to hold. You're never going to hold a back leg because horses are, of course, strong, and it's going to be more difficult to hold it. So for example, if she had an injury on her front right leg, you're going to hold the front left leg, so they'll keep that leg down. And if the injury was on the hind left leg, you are going to hold the front left leg, because horses are more comfortable standing on diagonals than on one side, so she'll be less likely to lift that leg up. And same for the other side. If you have an injury on the hind right leg, you're going to hold the front right leg. But you also have to be careful because horses are very strong, and you have to watch out if they're going to still try and lift their leg or kick out or something. You have to be prepared for that. So these are some of the basic physical restraints that we utilize at William Woods. One thing we never use is an ear twitch, because if you twist the ear or something, that can be very painful to the horse. Some other places do that, but again, we don't do that here. So the ones that demonstrated are some of the ones we show, and when done correctly, they are very effective in restraining the horse.